Hey Floyd, what was your reaction to the fight, man? What was your reaction to the fight, man?
Now, which one Lamont won? Who you got win? Lamont.
Man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather offered his thoughts on the matchup between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, expressing his opinions on how the fight ended in controversy, which caused the boxing world to blow up. In addition, Shakur Stevenson responded angrily, claiming that the game wasn't a draw and criticizing Davis for being overconfident and underestimating Roach's abilities. Stevenson thinks Davis struggled in the ring because he thought Roach wasn't a serious threat, and fans agreed with him.
Now, which one Lamont won? Who you got win? Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
You said what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're going to see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in, they really...
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
For those who don't know _ about boxing, Shakur tweeted about the Tank versus Roach match that my teat hit tonight. The fight went precisely how I expected it would, and fans agreed, calling for a rematch with a well-known boxer and media celebrity. Jake Paul expressed his dissatisfaction with Davis's performance, saying that the fight lacked the intensity expected from a championship outing. He said Davis needed to generate more action, comparing the fight to a sparring session rather than a competitive fight. He added that this was not the Gervonta Davis he was used to, suggesting a change from Davis's typical aggressive style.
Man, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Demetrius Andrade, the middleweight champion, commented on the fight and praised Lamont Roach's outstanding performance. Andrade said that despite the contentious ruling, the game shouldn't have been called a draw because Roach had done enough to win. Andrade commended the fight's overall quality, emphasizing the fighter's skill and competitiveness.
Fight, Roach had something that we all wasn't expecting. He might have had power. His distance was good. He came in ready, prepared to fight, and he showcased that. And man, we had a good fight overall. It was a good IQ fight.
In all honesty, do you think Roach pulled it off?
I'm not going to say that at all. I don't think that the draw is good. You know. Other than that, it was a great fight. We'll love to see it again. It's me again, Caleb Plant, Chalo, Munguia, Edgar Belanga, where the fuck you motherfuckers at? Let's get this shit happen. You already know. So I'm playing. Let's get these shits popping, man. Time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick.
I mean, 100%. What do you think about Berlanga's obviously opponent that he chose? I mean,
lightweight contestant Isaac Cruz voiced his disapproval of the draw decision by highlighting a crucial moment during the fight where Davis took a knee. Cruz claimed that the referee and judges neglected to give Roach the proper points for this incident, which could have affected the outcome. He implied that this oversight contributed to the unfair draw decision.
Pues ahora sí que dieron una gran pelea, ahora sí que me sorprendió la pelea que dio Lamont Roach y bueno, fue una gran pelea para toda la aficionada.
¿Tú crees que fue un empate?
No, yo creo que no, creo que le quedaron a deber la caída a Lamont Roach, pero bueno, decisión de los jueces y del referee que no le hizo válida la caída, no le hizo el conteo.
¿Qué le fue mal en esta pelea para Gervonta? ¿Qué fue lo que no hizo para que los jueces le den esta pelea? ¿Tú qué piensas?
Bueno, él nada más apostó a un solo round, a un solo golpe para poderlo noquear y el cual Loma venía muy bien preparado, muy bien concentrado en el plan de trabajo. Y bueno, creo que a Tank le faltó presionar, tirar más golpes para ser más contundente y que se viera más efectivo a la hora de la victoria.
¿Te gustaría ver una revancha entre ellos?
Pues estaría muy agradable, ahora sí que la primera estuvo muy buena, yo creo que la segunda también.
Former world champion Danny Garcia gave his thoughts on the fight, calling it a fantastic contest that displayed both boxers' skills in relation to Gervonta Davis's performance. Garcia underlined the unpredictable nature of boxing and the difficulties fighters have in regularly sustaining peak performance by pointing out that not every night in the sport reflects a fighter's best, implying that Davis may have had a bad night.
There's no doubt this was a statement.
Danny, what's going on, my man? What do you think of the fight?
Stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me, right?
Danny, what do you think of the fight, man? Are you surprised by the outcome? It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him?
Out.
Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do. You think it was a draw? I don't know. It was a good fight.
Experienced boxing commentator Jim Lampley expressed his opinions about the result of the battle, indicating that draws are generally, both fans were disappointed, and he emphasized the combatants involved. Gervonta Davis was anticipated by many to obtain a knockout win, particularly taking into account that Lamont Roach had relocated for this fight up in weight class. According to Lampley, Davis's incapacity eliminating Roach's could be viewed as possibly a setback in his career, impacting his reputation in the division of lightweight.
Bag for fans, for people in the sport, etc., etc. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots, and he wound up throwing more punches than he likes to throw to get that done. He tagged him both on the chin and to the belly, etc., and couldn't seem to hurt Roach. And that was another surprise in the overall picture of the fight.
Terrence Crawford, the unbeaten welterweight champion, expressed his surprise on social media at Davis's kneeing incident not being counted as a knockdown by the referee. Crawford expressed his incredulity in a tweet, implying that the referees might have forgotten the rules for tonight's bout. "I've never seen someone take a knee, and they don't consider it as a knockdown."
Left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right. He took a knee. He took a knee. What is he doing? He forgot his...
Abner Mars, a former three-division world champion, demanded a rematch between Davis and Pooch, claiming that Pooch performed as expected and that many, including Davis, may have underestimated him. He implied that this underestimation played a role in the fight's outcome, and that a rematch would enable both fighters to modify their tactics appropriately.
I thought Roach closed the last two rounds, and then if you think about it, that knockdown was a knockdown. He took a knee, they should have counted, and, you know, those 2 points, like Roach said, you know, it would have been on his favor and he would have won the fight. But, you know, I hope they run it back again, which I'm sure they will. And, you know, we get more of a clear, you know, victor for either side.
How much of tonight was Lamont Roach being Lamont Roach, and how much of it was Gervonta Davis maybe not being at his best?
It was more. Reason? It was more. Yeah, well said. I think it was more of Lamont being Lamont. A lot of people were not expecting that. He was catching the punches really well, took them well. Great combinations, and he just stood in the pocket and fought him right in the center of the ring. Even Tank was not expecting that, and I think that threw him off. And you know, great great performance by Lamont Roach, and Tank Davis he's got to fight more. It's not as consistent with the fighting, and again, the timing probably wasn't there for him this fight.
What does it say about Tank, man? Some people had him as high as, top 5, top 10 pound.
You know what that's going to say about Tank now. Obviously, people are going to talk shit, and people are going to, put him, probably take him down on the pound for pound list, and, it is what it is. But so that's why Tank has to come back and really get that rematch and really make a statement, if it's with him or whoever else.
And lastly, people wanted to know who's the best lightweight. Is it Keyshawn, Shakur, or Tank? Do you think he can still beat those guys, or did Lamont show some things tonight that those guys are just...
Oh, Lamont's definitely there. Lamont can fight any of these guys.
Yeah.
A boxer from Washington, D.C., offered insight into the possible fallout from the fight's contentious conclusion, voicing worry that Gervonta Davis's youthful and fervent fan base might react badly and possibly spark unrest. He observed a noticeable negative vibe throughout the event, highlighting the necessity of controlling fan reactions responsibly in situations with such high stakes.
My reaction for this Tank versus Roach fight, I'm really disappointed, to be honest. Like, it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And the reason why is they leaving a negative energy out there. And a lot of y'all might not understand because y'all don't come from underserved environments or was never incarcerated or things like that. I'm from D.C. and I know how we get active. I know people from Baltimore and I know how they get active. When we talk about rivalries are cool. When I'm talking Commanders, Cowboys, stuff like that, that's friendly and cool. We talk our trash, but when we talking about when it's negative and we know that Tank have a young following, things like that, and I'm seeing certain people at these press conferences, violent individuals, and things can really turn out bad. So yeah, I understand they selling the fight and things like that, but certain things, it can get real bad. And I don't want to see nobody lose their life. Let this be a healthy rivalry. Y'all go in there, best man win, and fight over. It should be all love. We got to be careful with the messaging that we putting out. It's Mr. We Fit.
In his post-fight comments, Dant Davis acknowledged that the fight was good for boxing and praised Lamont Roach as a strong opponent. He also acknowledged that, given his record, fans expect knockouts from him and that a draw is not what a fighter with his caliber of work should achieve. Davis's remarks demonstrate his understanding of the high standards set for him, as well as his appreciation of Roach's abilities.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight. But it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, is KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was.
Ford, Calvin John Davis's trainer, restated his earlier evaluations of Lamont Roach, stressing that he had consistently acknowledged Roach's aptitude and skill set. Ford's remarks imply that Team Davis understood the difficulties that Roach would provide and acknowledged the fight's competitive nature.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight, but it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, is KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that. But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the. I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man.
Many people appreciated Roach's performance, claiming that he was the first fighter to really challenge Davis. Supporters have demanded a rematch because they think Roach deserves another opportunity to prove himself.
Lamont Roach definitely earned my respect tonight. Definitely one of the first fighters to put Tank to the test. Just matching fire with fire. That was a good fight. For me, I need to see a rematch ASAP. But yeah, Tank definitely took the knee, 100%. I see Roach winning that 7-5 personally. But boxing is business, so they were never going to let him have that win. Roach's timing was on point though. No easy knockouts tonight. Sharp counters like. Real, very good fighter, very good fighter. Let me know what you guys think, if that robbery was fair or not. Leave it in the comments.
Numerous supporters and commentators still contend that Roach was defrauded, pointing to the instance in which Davis kneeled but was not knocked down. This dispute has increased calls for a rematch.
Lamont Roach just got cheated. And Lamont Roach's fight versus Tank Davis just ended in a draw. And based on what I just seen, he was winning the fight. But you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is Tank Davis took a knee. When you take a knee in boxing, that's supposed to be an automatic knockdown. They literally let Tank Davis take a knee. The referee wanted to count. He chose not to count. He went to the corner, wiped off his hair, wiped off his eye, and then kept fighting. And to me, that makes no sense. How are you able to do that and not be a knockdown? Yo, boxing is crazy, bro. This stuff is wild. And you know what makes it even wilder? His excuse said, I just got my hair done and my hair was in my eye. Bruh, cut your hair. This is boxing, man. Y'all dudes be trying to look too pretty. But with all that being said, it was a great fight. I just hate the ending. Give that man Lamont Roach the knockdown so he could go ahead and win.
After the battle, some of Davis's supporters were upset and even jeered him, demonstrating the great expectations around him for the first time in his career.
Oh my god, Gervonta just lost his perfect record. His fight with Lamont Roach was scored as a majority draw. Roach threw more punches and landed more punches on Gervonta. Just look at the numbers. And was this a knockdown? Roach after the fight wasn't satisfied and he said if that was scored as a knockdown, he would have won the fight tonight. Gervonta after the fight said that some grease from his hair just got in his eyes and he couldn't see well. Crowd started booing Tank, his own crowd. We all know boxing fans. They love you one day, they hate you one day. That's exactly what Tank said. What do you think really happened? Was that because Lamont is really that guy? Or is it because Tank really needs to take time to himself, retire, go back to school as he mentioned? I don't know, but you go ahead and comment. Let's talk about it.
While defending his client, Davis's coach also acknowledged Roach's efforts, stressing that neither combatant was obviously victorious and that Roach was deserving of respect.
Well, both of us back today was that again. Nobody won. Nobody won. He can sit there and say, I didn't get knocked out. That's the only thing that's good to say. I didn't get knocked out. Maybe that was his championship, because he did. You know what I'm saying? He fought a brilliant fight. Salute goes off to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was talking about retirement stuff. That might change that. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
Since Davis has alluded to retirement, MMA journalist Ariel Helwani conjectured that this would be one of his final bouts. He thinks the unsatisfactory outcome may force Davis to leave from boxing earlier than anticipated.
The great Gervonta Tank Davis. He's returning to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach, who is moving up from super featherweight. Tank Davis is these days kind of averaging one fight a year, which is a shame. He wants to have 3 more fights and then retire by the end of 2025. Does he get 3 fights this year? Does he actually retire by the end of the year? Who knows? But this may be one of the last times we see him, at least for now. So catch him while you can. One of the most exciting, one of the most hard-hitting fighters in the sport, and we suspect once again that he wins, and I suspect that he wins via stoppage once again. He is one of the hardest hitting guys in the history of the sport, and we suspect that if he gets by Roach, there could be some big fights on the horizon this year. We don't know, but he's got to get by Lamont Roach first. That test goes down this Saturday in Brooklyn.
Lamont Roach outboxed John Davis in this fight, according to Jalen Love, who feels that Roach did enough to win and deserved to have his hand raised in the end. Even some Davis supporters acknowledged that Roach had fought well and handled Davis's power impressively. This change in support has been one of the fight's biggest surprises.
Hey man, what'd you think? The crowd didn't seem to like the draw. Did you think that was the right call?
Nah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love Gervonta. Obviously, we come from a lot of the same shit. But I love boxing, and I seen Lamont Roach outclass Gervonta Davis tonight.
Yeah.
And I ain't against the Tank. I'm just a boxer. If you ask me, I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
I thought Lamont did enough to receive the victory.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't go his way. It was a good fight. The boxing fans won.
It's just all about the knockdown.
I think if anytime you take a knee or touch the canvas, and it's through to a blunt punch, or even if you hurt and you go down, that's a knockdown. That's what I know from the rules of boxing since it started. You touch the canvas, it was not counted. He put a halt to the fight to go get his face wiped. These are all penalties, points, all different shit. So, you know, from the game that I know if I was in that bitch, that would have been a knockdown. But it is what it is. You can't let the cash cow go. You filling out these arenas, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, he was better against Frank Martin. It looked like he was flat tonight.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach is a stellar fucking fighter. If you know Lamont Roach, know his father, know his brother, know the whole, they come from a great pedigree of boxing, and you've seen that tonight.
That concludes today's video. Watch for the next one.